ガンスリンガーの解放と同時にチャーム指輪、そしてガンスリンガーを解放するのに必要な使い古された回転弾倉を取得します。アーキタイプガンスリンガーの解放は簡単で、ラビリンスをクリア後マッドトゥースと会話し続けるだけです。会話し続けることでアミュレットと指輪ももらえます。
Sure can. Let's see. I do miss the days when you could find the found this old can of finding that was like, oh, that can must have been 100 years old. Well, I ain't one to back down from some damn stuffed hiss. I chugged a whole. I nearly puked with each swallow. When I threw the can aside, the boys cheered. They stayed that way for at least a... Let me see here. Crazy 8 traveled a lot after leaving Sanctuary. Anyway, this Croakswell town, we stayed anyway, of course. Her old man, though, he didn't like... I opened the door. And the girl's old man, which one of you Astley? Well, I ain't gonna argue with a man. Mudtooth, he's the one you're after. We ditched Ghost Crack that day, and that's the story of how Brabus... So this wanderer comes up to visit me at my mama. I'm thinking they'll get tired and wander off. And I think to myself, reminds me of my ma, tell you the truth, the way I'd listen. That wanderer reminded me of family. And that's most ain't too long after that, my boy Brab, I knew a good thing when I saw it. I didn't say. Family's the most important thing we got in this world. Oh, here's a good one. Long time ago, when I was just 10 years, Sanctuary was true to its name. Boy, Sanctuary had it. Yeah, I'm getting to it. Boy, Sanctuary had it. Sanctuary had this. See, they'd hook up this battery. They'd hook it up to a wheel and a light, and bam! Maybe it's something like Ford's old Chris. Nah, they just played for you. Sound and all. Maybe that's where I got my lovers. Ah, here's... You've been introduced to that girl Clementine. She's near as old as Ford is, if you can believe it. You see, she was born on Earth. Clementine spent 100 years on a snow world called Resome. See, Resome's full of giant talking rats. They got warrior rats and midwife rats. Clementine, she learned under the tutelage of a two. She don't talk about it, of course, on account of 7. See, this is 100%. I ever tell you about this? No, it ain't a book. It's real. He's the king of another world, see? The Shrouded King. He got his people to... As soon as the root showed up, he fired. Now the king, he knew what was about to happen. No, it scorched the whole dim darn dingity world. And that's why he wears a shroud, see? Oh, ain't no one on this planet more beautiful. She rules an old swamp about 100 miles off, and folks say if you climb one of these here towers, but them ain't no ordinary swamp lights, and she ain't the Moth Queen. Draws her anyway. She captures folks with her beauty and her if you head off that way, keep your wits about. Ho! This city ain't without its own tale. Within that tower's a man. Oh, yeah. And within that tower's a man. He calls himself the Keeper, and I've seen him myself. Even talked to him once. He says he watches over all of us. But I reckon he means well. Here, right good listen, Tater. I got just the cure. Take this and check back with me later. Let me see here. There's... I don't matter. This old man. See, I mean, he sees... That ain't all. The old man in the maze, see, is like a spider web full of and he don't just watch. He, I can see on your face you ain't. And if in this maze watcher decides he wants someplace to... You want to know the truth about it to start off with? The bull? Why is that? Well, Bo Ward, he made a deal with the... Don't believe me? It was Bo. He won't admit it, but it was Bo. What the boy's more than he tells, and a good... This one's... So, I gotten separated from the... We've been chased by these big old dead... The others, they holed up in this old... There was no way in, but there were these old... But I weren't gonna stay out there with deadwood creeping around. I come busting out of the pipes, and right, I stand up, covered in mud and got... And that, friend, is where I got the neck... This is 100. You met old Wally yet? The boy ain't right, but I reckon I know why, too. I ain't never told him this, but don't believe me? Ha! That boy Wally was born under a blood. I heard him cry out his first breath I did, and I was... Caw! Oh, don't tell him I said it. Sure can. Well, you met my boy Brabus yet? He got into a scrap when he was 5, he did. Well, that boy's pa didn't. Of course, he, Of course I'm aware. That boy's pa wanted to take some skin out of him, but, like I taught Brabus, say as I do. Come to think of it, that's probably how Brabus got the way he is. Anyway, I fight the man. He could have crushed my head between market and roast beef, but I pointed, and nothing at all behind him, then smooshed us. And while he was a spitting and a sputter, and that, friend, is the true story. This is 100. Let me tell you what those folks were up to in that atoll. That was where they did their experiment, and the root, you see. They were, yes, sir. They found Route D, but this army, it got out of hand. And pretty good weapon, if you ask me. Nigh on slaughtered. Makes you think, though. What else were them Usanayans? You won't believe this. I ever tell you the secret? But I will tell you, my mom made a fine stew. But it weren't nothing to tell. We was trapped in one of them medicinal compounds. So we scrounged for ingredients. That night was the best stew. And that, friend, is the same stew I'm... Sure can. Well, did I tell you I once sailed a... It was after that wanderer. I tell you, I saw... Just pause and I tell you, I saw things down there in that rusted place was just... No, that old place was called Ward 10 and 7. Oh, he'll deny it, I'm sure. But all them electron, what were they up to down there? Now that's the... I reckon you're the best listener I've done. I do believe I'm all out of story. I'm guessing that'll be a mite bit more useful to you. I'm always here to answer them, if you got 'em. So long as you head back then, eh?
共にリロード速度をアップするもので、 使い古された回転断層でアーキタイプを解放します。
Yay! Alright, let's. Bye.
Traveler, they don't like it. Goodbye, traveler.
これでガンスリンガーを選択できるようになります。